Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of the show. Coming up this week, Tua has a very, very scary injury. Cooper Rush is allegedly now the full-time starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, he's the savior.
He's the savior of the Dallas Cowboys. And you won't believe who, out of their own mouth, said that they're the next generation's rock or this generation's rock. Whichever way you want to look at it, we're going to talk about it. Sit back, relax,
Pop a cold
get a
one.
drink. Another week of the show is starting now.
All right.
I
That
believe
was,
that was a good teaser.
yeah, that was a good intro. We're getting
We
better at that. Now we just need to
we
figure out how to transition from the intro to the actual show because now I feel like we're just filling in that awkward space because we don't know what else to do. I mean, we could just dive
well,
into it, but then that's awkward.
well, that's where most people would then start. You know, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and all that shit.
Yeah.
We
By the
don't
way,
do
don't
that.
forget to. Oh,
I mean, do it, but we don't do that.
okay.
Do all those things that I just said.
So
Like, comment, subscribe.
this is
But
gonna be the
we don't. We don't.
this is gonna be the one episode where we don't encourage people to are we using reverse psychology now? We don't want you to subscribe. In fact, unsubscribe.
No, they subscribe if they want. They don't. Don't ever come back and you know.
Oh,
But
you're doing the shitty boyfriend technique. Yeah, you can call me if you want.
yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just make sure you wash my clothes. That's the important thing.
Well, I mean, on a serious note, we are growing on our way to 1,000. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. So if you
We
want to
are.
hit the button, hit the button. You could be the 1,000th.
You could
Don't
be.
look at it though. Just do it. Don't fact check that. Did you see? I guess since it's not on the docket, we could talk about it.
Okay.
Did you see your former team, Ohio State's kind of taking some shit today?
I saw Ryan Day and Shiano getting into it, and then I saw Ryan Day apologize like a bitch. Um, I don't know. I don't really know what happened.
Oh,
I know they
yeah,
whooped
they
that ass.
Ohio State's getting some shit because with what 6 minutes to go in the game,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah, they faked a punt, right, or something like that.
yeah they ran a fake punt.
Yeah.
Um, the problem everybody had with it is they were up by 39 points when they did
Okay.
it. So
That's it.
you know, oh, you're running the score up, that kind of thing.
Oh. Well,
It's classless.
these days people just get sandy vaginas over everything, so whatever.
I mean, what are they supposed to do? Not score? I mean,
I mean,
yeah, a fake
yeah.
punt is kind of you probably want to, but you want to put that in so the next team has to take time out of practice to prepare for it.
Well, again, I'm not 100% on the story, but I think if I read correctly, Ryan Day basically said that the punter kind of audibled to that, like he saw the daylight and just took matters into his own hands.
Oh, you can't do that. Well, the
So,
rest of it is they run the fake punt
mhm.
and he's the punter's clearly out of bounds. Rutgers takes offense probably because they ran a fake punt up
Well,
39
sure.
points and late hit,
I mean, yeah,
which caused a
you gotta expect that. I mean, if you're gonna run a bush league play, you gotta expect a bush league, finish.
I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. You know, that punt, they could have returned that punt for 6, and then that could have changed the whole game dynamic, and they could have caught up in 6 minutes with 39 points. So
Yeah.
you could never really take your foot off the gas pedal. And
Well,
then also, at the end of the year, they want to talk about strength of schedule and all that shit. So, they look at how bad you beat teams. So really, the NCAA is encouraging it.
I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. I also I I mean, when you do something like that, you can't really expect the other team to take it on the chin without, responding. It's kind of like in baseball when the pitchers try to intentionally hit the other players for some
Oh,
bullshit.
because they looked, in baseball, the one of the unwritten rules is you can't look once you hit. Like once you know you hit a home run, you can't look at it. You have to just run with your head down.
Yeah. You gotta cover your
Can't
eyes.
you can't yeah. You can't be like, whoa, You just gotta, oh, I hit it. I know that's probably gonna be a home run, but I gotta act like I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's my home run. I get to do what I want to do. If
Well,
if you didn't want me to do it, then you shouldn't have let me get a home run.
well, then that's when you're gonna get CTE from getting a baseball to the head.
That is that is a drawback from it.
See, again though, that's you do stuff that's outside the unwritten rules. But I don't know. I don't really have that big of an opinion on it. It's just it is what it is.
Well, I just thought it was an actual college story to talk about, so thought I'd bring it up.
I didn't.
Since we did go through some college games today, Oklahoma also got that ass beat by TCU, so
Who's
there's that.
undefeated?
They are.
They might be the Pac-12 or not Pac-12. Where are they? Big 12.
Yeah.
They might be the Big 12 standout. It's kind of that's good. I like to see TCU.
Well, we got some crazy undefeated teams in the Big 12 right now. We got TCU, Kansas, of all teams. Well, no, I think they actually lost today.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, they lost by like 2 points or something. Kansas State's also undefeated.
Oh, good.
So all the teams that shouldn't be undefeated. When you got Texas, I mean, they did play Alabama and lost by 1 point. Let's not
Didn't they
forget
lose
that
last
part.
week?
To Texas Tech, yeah.
Yeah. I've always liked TCU better.
Yeah,
You kind
I
of
mean, they're.
your Ladainian Tomlinson jerk off sessions kind of rubbed off on me. Ha! See what I did there?
Well, hopefully they'll do something this year.
Yeah. Either way,
They'll
it's
get
nice to
to
see
they'll
them.
get to the big boy table.
Yeah, it's nice to see them actually compete instead of just sink in the Big 12. Unfortunately, all the good teams are going to the SEC, so they're going to be back to
Yeah,
playing Boise in no time.
yeah. Didn't think about what's gonna happen to TCU and Texas Tech and
Yeah.
those teams are just they might as well just not even play football anymore. Like just stick to basketball.
Yeah.
Jeez. But the Big 12, they're supposed to be adding some new teams to kind of balance it out. So I don't know. Maybe it's still a good conference.
Like
It's
who?
just not gonna have the superpowers. Um, I
SMU?
don't know I don't know off the top of my head. No, I heard a team today. Um, it was a good team. I don't know, I forgot who it was, but they said
Was it like Arkansas
that
or
they're supposed to
something?
be going to the Big 12.
Hmm. Okay.
No, well, I'll have more on that, but
Fair enough. Speaking of a little unrelated, but the UCLA Bruins, Chip Kelly's undefeated this season so far. At least last time I looked. It only took him 6 years
Oh, that's
to.
good for them.
Yeah. I don't know why I brought that
Um,
up. I kind of like Chip Kelly. So
like his whole offensive prowess.
yeah, like I remember when he was when Dennis Dixon got hurt. They were like the best offense you've ever seen until their star got hurt, and then I don't know. I've always kind of liked Oregon. Back when
Although that, good.
oh, I was gonna say, but just back when it was Bilotti coaching and they were nothing. They were just a middle of the road Pac-12 school. I just remember it was really foggy all the time. And every time they'd score, you'd hear that. So,
Um, Speaking of hurt, Alabama's quarterback got hurt.
oh, Bryce
Returning
Young.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, did
Now
he
I
get
don't know because I didn't watch the. I mean, it was like 49-0 at the time, so I didn't stick around.
right?
I don't know if they just kept him out because the Alabama was winning so bad already,
Hmm.
but he definitely left in. I think it was like the first or second quarter.
Do you know what he hurt?
I don't.
Okay, so
Not
you're on
at
top of
all.
this one.
I know, right? I got all the details.
It's almost like why'd you even bring it up?
Hey, I got the important part.
Is it the important part?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Okay.
I guess the important part was he got hurt and Alabama still rolled with no problem.
Yeah. Well, that's not surprising. Alabama's a deep school.
Yeah, they're a factory. Just like Ohio State's a factory.
Yeah.
Michigan seems to becoming a factory.
Uh, I don't know.
Now the one school that should be a factory that's not is Texas. They
Well,
need to be a factory. They're supposed to be a factory. They're not a factory.
they don't know how to put any consistency in their coaching hires.
Well, I mean, Sarkeesian, he's doing okay right now.
Yeah, but
He's definitely,
Mac Brown was there for what? How long? Like 10 years.
uh, yeah, something like that.
And then after that, it's been like what 4 years max that a coach has had to to kind of get it back on track.
Well, that's just Texas. You get 3 seasons. If you don't turn it around in 3 seasons, you're out. We don't have time to let you rebuild. We got
What
championships to be.
what was Mac Brown's
Um,
excuse? He was there for 10 years. He didn't go to the national championship for 10 years. He didn't win the Big 12 10 years.
well, his excuse is he won one early enough in his career that he was able to coast and go through those shitty years.
Okay, at least you're honest.
Yeah, I mean he's a good coach. Don't
Yeah.
get me
No,
wrong,
no, no, yeah, absolutely.
but I'm just saying
He,
he bought himself more time from winning.
okay.
I think, yeah, there was a. Now we're talking about it. There was a story that Vince Young pretty much saved his job because he was on his way out had he not won, and
Man,
Vince
Vince,
Young got there,
he
turned
was
the
so
program
fucking
around.
fun to watch.
He was. Not much after that happened. I mean,
He
you
was
got
fun to
Colt
watch in the
McCoy,
NFL
but
too. Oh, I'm sorry. Colt McCoy was really good. He just never recovered from losing to Alabama or getting knocked out of the game. Like his career trajectory just he peaked. I do believe had he won the national championship, he would have been a different quarterback.
well, I mean, he was going to the NFL, so
Yeah,
he might still be in the NFL.
he is.
Yeah, him and Chase Daniel, they're just like hanging in there, huh?
Yeah, they're like little Ryan Fitzpatricks.
Yeah. Speaking of Ryan Fitzpatrick, so on the Thursday night football game, there was just like this crazy, scary injury that happened to Tua.
Okay.
Um, he swung, he got he he got sacked, right? The
Yeah.
guy slung him down. He hit his head on the back of the field, and I don't know when you saw it live, like his fingers, I forget the name of it,
It
but his
was
fingers like
fencing
started,
fencing response.
yeah, fencing response. It just
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
like the scariest thing.
No. We're just gonna blow over my in-depth knowledge of of brain traumas.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were just sitting right on it. So,
Okay. Fair enough.
and um, I guess why Fitzpatrick was a part of that conversation is I thought he was going to actually like I don't know. I just had this vision because Fitzpatrick he had his run in the league
Hmm.
where every time he would be brought in as a backup and then the starter would get hurt
Right.
somehow and then he'd find himself starting again. So I thought I just had this vision like he was just sitting there with his football gear underneath his suit and when Tua got hurt he was ready to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he retired.
He did,
Okay.
but that was just like what popped in my head is like oh, Fitzpatrick's gonna get up and he's gonna be starting by halftime.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Takes off his suit like Superman.
yeah. He gets a call and he's like, but you're doing the broadcast. Don't worry, I could do both. He
So
just runs out there.
so did you actually see the injury?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like a wrong play or anything.
Right.
Um,
It didn't look
he
that
just
malicious.
yeah
It looked like a
he
normal.
got slung down like a normal play.
Yeah.
The whole problem with it, and this has gotten Miami kind of in trouble
Right.
because they're already under investigation for the previous week where it looked like had a concussion.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't proven that he had a concussion, but same thing happened. He got slung down. He hit the back of his head on the on the turf,
Right.
and then he gets up. He's wobbly, and somehow he's back in the game. He passed concussion protocol, and they said the wobbliness was because of his back. I don't know. I'm not a doctor,
Right.
but that, and then we're fast forward a couple days later. We're on Thursday, and it happens again, and then you know the injury looks so bad.
Well,
Definitely not the best look for the league.
the league. I mean, I don't know if you have fucking trained medical professionals that clear him because you said he passed concussion protocol, right? And
Right.
they're taking that shit really seriously. And I can't imagine. I don't know. Like if it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, I could see a coach lying about that to get the edge. But now it's like one, the NFL is so hollow and meaningless now that it does like there's no pride, so it doesn't really matter in that sense.
And we're doing this in September.
Yeah,
Like, such a long season. You still got October, November, December worth of games, and you're faking concussions or clearing him from concussions to put him back out there.
right. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, obviously, something happened. I mean, he could have got his bell rung. There is that.
Yeah. But I want to know, like, who gets in trouble there? The coach can't get in trouble because he's not a medical professional. If they tell him he's cleared, he's cleared.
Yeah,
You know?
especially because isn't this guy like um, McDaniel's is his first year, right? Because wasn't Flores
Yeah.
coaching last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
okay,
his
yeah. This
first year.
motherfucker ain't gonna have any control, so he'll be used as a scapegoat if anything. But I don't. It's not his call.
And let's not forget, he was told that he's cleared. Like, he can't say, well, I know you said he's cleared, but I was my medical background say he's not cleared.
Well, I mean, he could have seen that he was woozy or wobbly, and had him sit for a quarter or something.
Yeah,
But he didn't.
I guess. But he also wanted to win, so
Yeah.
I don't know. You get told something, so you have to trust that they're doing the right thing.
And then what did Tua say? Did he want to go back out there? Did he say, "Hey, no, I need to sit and breathe"? And then McDaniel go, "No, get out there, you piece of shit."
Well, too, it's probably he wants to compete, so he's probably trying to do whatever he can to get back out there.
Yeah.
But all that together, and then it leads to what happened on Thursday. Um,
Well, I
he is
mean,
feeling better though, or
I,
I don't know. He went to a hospital at the when it happened. Um, of course, he's in the concussion protocol now, but
mhm.
he was feeling fine afterwards. He had his wits about him, allegedly. Um,
Allegedly.
there was yeah, so there was a quote that they said when they posted the update,
Uh huh.
and let me get this on here. So it said, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel said Tua sat next to him on the plane. They talked about how he was feeling for 15 to 20 minutes. Then Tua pulled out his phone and started watching Mac Gruber, and they laughed together. And they laughed together. So, you know, that's why I say allegedly. I mean, he's laughing at MacGruber. Is he
so,
really all right?
so Tua could be in a coma right now, and they're trying to find his clone.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, you found this show funny? Yeah, you might be worse off than we thought.
I just think
You
it's
know what?
kind of I think it's kind of interesting how I don't know. Everybody just seems to get be shocked when people who play a contact sport for a living get hurt. I mean,
Well,
they're always like, oh, they should have done stuff. They should have done this. But at the end of the day, 300-pound linemen are their job is to smack him into the ground. So I mean, when it does happen, there is a chance that he will get hurt. I don't think that's anybody's fault. That that is the nature of the game.
well, I mean, yeah, no one's blaming the lineman for this one, the D line who did it. But there are definitely some plays that could be dirty if you look at it. Like, you know, a guy not even looking, and then you see a guy like dive at his knees, chop block
Right.
him
But that's
unnecessarily.
but
Like
that's not
you're
what
just
we're
trying to
talking
hurt
about
him.
though. We're talking about what happened was he got tackled cleanly. Like the dude didn't lead with his helmet. All he did was he wrapped around his waist and threw him down to the ground. He didn't even throw him down to the ground super duper hard. He just happened to throw him down to the ground and he landed in a way that he got fucking hurt. And it sucks. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. But at the end of the day, that's you're getting thrown down to the ground. At some point, your body is only going to withstand so much. I just don't think I don't know. I don't think anybody should be crucified for somebody getting hurt when you play tackle football.
Well, I guess
Especially
the problem is, they're just trying to make sure because the league is trying to, I don't know, be safe, as
right.
safe as it can be. They've changed a lot of rules, like you can't like target a defenseless receiver, aka you pretty much have to let him catch it.
Right. If the
Um,
wind's blowing this way, you can't.
I mean, shit. Even ESPN, they stopped doing like they used to do ESPN. They used to do like these jacked up highlights where it was big hits that happened during the week, good defensive plays. They stopped doing that because they didn't want to like, I don't know,
Well,
highlight dangerous plays.
ESPN
But
stopped doing a lot of things.
that could be, yeah. I was gonna say that could be a conversation for another time. That's a whole nother thing in itself. But I'm saying the league as a whole, they're trying to get safer, as safe as it can be for what it is.
And that's why it's like almost not unwatchable. I don't know.
Well, they're still big hits,
There is, but it's just I don't know. It's just you don't see anybody just get decked.
depleted like Reggie Bush.
Yeah, get depleted and all you see is their toes twitch. That was good
You
shit.
just want to, yeah, you just want to watch violence, pure violence.
That's what football is.
No, it's more sophisticated than that now.
Uh, Not really. They try to make it
I
more
don't know. You got
sophisticated.
you got baseball players making the most money out of all the athletes, and you, you could argue that they're not even athletes. I mean, some of those players, just the pure size of them. Um, there's like what's his name? Sebastian something. You can't call that guy an athlete. He's fat as hell. Or as Mike Gundy will say, fat. We gotta add that drop. I can't do it justice. But you say those. You would say no one is to kind of blame.
I
Um,
mean, obviously, if they if they lied or were deceptive on the initial diagnosis the week before, then obviously that's a whole other conversation, right? But if he cleared all the shit that he's supposed to clear, what are you supposed to do? Like, just sit him out? Because
I mean,
what basis do
you
you have to do that? You have medical professionals telling you that he's okay.
again, this is a game in September. Like, I don't know if it's really that important to put your whole season on the line. Seeing a guy getting up wobbly like that,
Mm.
I don't know if you put your whole season on the line to win that game.
Well, it was the Bills.
And
I
they
think,
did win.
yeah, they did win.
Give them credit there.
It was the Bills. It was a big game. Both teams were undefeated at the time. So, I mean,
So I guess
it's a
it's kind of
division game,
irrelevant
too.
now, but kind of irrelevant now. But do you think does that put them as a legit contender, Miami?
it, I guess it depends on Tua.
I said it is kind of irrelevant now,
Right.
but
How long is he
let's say
supposed to be
Tua
out?
was there.
Do you know?
Well, he's in the concussion protocol, so
How long is
it'll
that
be
fucking? He
a
was in
few
the concussion
weeks.
protocol last week, wasn't he?
No,
Oh,
that was the whole problem. So it'll be a few weeks.
so wait. I thought the concussion protocol was the thing that clears you. I guess I don't know anything about the concussion protocol.
Um,
It's back in my day, they let you practice without helmets.
it's not the thing that clears you. They do a concussion test, a quick test, and then
Okay.
if you fail that test, then you go into the concussion protocol. That's your
Oh,
like
okay.
you have to pass a series of stuff before you can be cleared to come back.
So they'll
So
be like,
now
quick,
that's where he's at.
quick, what's your dick size? And then.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not answering that. Oh, you're still in concussions.
Yeah.
We need
Oh,
to
he's
know that
so
information.
concussed. He's gonna be out for
You're
about
gonna be
6 weeks.
you're gonna be in that protocol until you can answer.
Answer or furnish a picture.
with with a ruler.
And a picture of today's newspaper. So
But it is sad because Miami, they were having a good season.
they were on a good little run.
Um, Now you kind of got to look at Tua as a whole. He does get injured quite often, so now he's got to be in that injury-prone conversation.
Yeah.
Um, I still don't know if, like I said last week, yeah, he was making good passes, you know, but a lot of those balls were underthrown. So how much of it, I don't know. I just I can't quite yet buy into them being a legit contender.
Well, I mean, I think the Bills lost the that game more than the Dolphins won it. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins did win the game. So I think because, like we said the week before that, I mean, that was going to be their big litmus test, right? And they passed it.
Right.
So I think at that point, you had no choice but to look at them seriously, right? Now that we have the Tua situation, it's kind of a big question mark, unless they have a really good backup.
They have Teddy Bridgewater,
Oh, then
who could be a good backup. I don't know. Maybe he's never really gotten a fair shake at it. And with the weapons that they have in Miami, maybe
Maybe.
they can elevate him enough to be decent. I
Maybe.
mean, you want to talk about backups? You got a team over in Dallas playing with a backup, and they seem to be doing just fine.
Oh, he's the second coming, isn't he?
He is. But I do like how, and we're talking about Cooper Rush,
Yeah.
I do like how everybody was sucking the Giants. Oh, the Giants are back. They're going to win the East. They're the best team ever. And then when the Cowboys came out and exposed them, then it's like everybody's shitting on Daniel Jones. Uh, the Giants don't have protection for him. I can't believe this team is so bad. It's like how fast people change their minds.
Well, the Giants did win a couple games they shouldn't have, and they were so
Yeah, they
bad
were.
last year that you just didn't expect them to come out the gate like that.
Yeah, they were undefeated, and but no one. While they were undefeated, no one was talking about how bad they were.
And if I
Everybody was.
remember correctly, didn't you pick the Giants to win that game?
Um, it had nothing to do with the Giants. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
This was purely because the Cowboys have a backup. But I've not picked them 2 weeks in a row, and they've won 2 weeks in a row. So I think now I have to keep not picking them. Spoiler for what's coming up.
Fair enough.
But I will say overall, um, and here we are getting closer to a quarterback controversy in Dallas,
Did
which is good.
hold on. This motherfucker is throwing 2 touchdowns, right?
Total?
Yeah, that didn't I see you only like threw for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns or something like that? 450 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's good. What are you talking about?
How is that good?
Well, you're saying in 2 games?
Yeah, in
Or,
his back-to-back games. He went 40 to
well,
62, 450 yards and 2 touchdowns.
here's the thing.
No. If you're going to sit there and say that he's better than Dak Prescott and he's the second coming and he should be the starter, you got to no. I want to see more than 2 fucking touchdowns.
Well, I'm saying, here's the thing with that. Okay? The first, he scored 1 touchdown because the scripted first 20 was scripted out perfectly. That was week 1 that he played. And then he scored at the end of the game, fourth quarter drive. And then against the Giants, he didn't score in the opening drive. I think it was like the third or fourth drive he scored. But then again, in the fourth quarter, when they needed him, he drove him down the field and scored again. So it's not how much he's doing, it's when he's doing it. He's doing it at the right time. He's, bad word coming, managing the game.
Okay, so what happens when they take all the viable weapons away from Dallas? They're shutting down their wide receivers and they're shutting down the running backs and it's up to Cooper Rush to get receivers open to use his arm to help Zeke out with the run game. What's going to happen then?
Well, we'll see. He hasn't been put in that position yet. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys' defense is top five defense, and think, I think they might be number one overall on defense. They have the most sacks, so the defense is playing outside of their minds. Michael Parsons is proven to be the best defensive player in the league. Yeah, that's right, Aaron Donald. Uh, the defense is keeping him in it. The offense, um, Zeke and I've lost his name. Anyway, the other running back who's
Tony
actually playing
Pollard.
better than Pollard, who's actually playing better than Zeke um, so far.
He's been playing
They're
better than
doing
him for the last like 2 seasons, hasn't he?
yeah. I mean, he doesn't get a this season. They're splitting carries.
Mm-hmm.
Last season he wasn't. They weren't splitting carries. Zeke was getting the majority. He was
Yeah.
just like the relief or the third down back because he's so good at catching the ball. This
Well,
year is like a 50-50 split, but he's that big play threat
right.
so far.
Well, that's how it kind of always is, though. The second running back is usually the more productive one, at least on paper,
Right.
for whatever reason. But then watch, they'll either trade him or make him the starter, and he won't be as good.
Yeah, he'll get exposed at that point. But so far, so good. Um, but yeah, he's the running backs are keeping him in it. Um, I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is the whole team, or the team as a whole, they're
Uh,
playing good enough to where right now he hasn't had to, put the team on his back, go out there, throw for 400 yards in a single game, or throw it every down. He hasn't had to do any of that yet. So as long as they can keep him out of those situations,
which won't happen.
what hasn't happened yet? Who? I mean,
Anybody.
obviously, I guess at some point, I mean, they are going to face Philly. So, I mean, who's the
There's just gonna
Cowboys played so far?
there's just gonna
They
be a
played.
situation where Cooper Rush is gonna have to save the team versus the team saving Cooper Rush, and I just don't think it's gonna happen. So I just need, like, I was listening to Whitlock. They're talking about how he was better than Dak. It's like,
Well, and you say Bell out. That's what I'm saying. The last two games, they've needed him to drive him down the field,
mm-hmm.
last possession, to win the game, and he's done it both times.
Didn't Tebow do that?
Sure did.
So I mean, come on.
But the problem is Tebow sucked the other three quarters.
That's kind of what he's doing. He's sucking for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, he's just doing enough.
Well, he's not sucking. He's not turning the ball over.
But he ain't being productive.
Mm.
400 yards in 2 games.
So,
That's
on how many attempts?
that's a half for Aaron Rodgers.
On how many attempts, though?
Like 60,
No,
62,
62 attempts.
40 to 62, 450 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That sounds pretty good to me. You completed 40 of your 60 passes.
You think that's
That,
good?
you completed 40 of your 60 passes.
There's
Yeah, that's
there's
pretty good.
22 passes that he just
What's his
sucked
what?
on.
What's his QBR?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't do stats.
You look at that stat.
I don't do stats.
It's probably in the 90s.
I don't know.
You know
Fuck.
that fake,
I just
that
know
fake ass.
I just know 450 yards and 2 touchdowns ain't shit.
Well, it is when you win the game. So
It ain't, no, it's not. He didn't win shit. He was just there.
he did what he needed to do.
He got to breathe the same air as the real players.
You don't need. See, the team doesn't need him to be Aaron Rodgers and going out and throw it
Who
60 times per game.
who are they playing this week?
The Commanders.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna
Yeah.
say don't. Oh, the Redskins are gonna beat the shit out, or get the shit beat out of them. I don't think.
Thought they were gonna get exposed this week.
Well, yeah, I was about to say like, oh, this next team's gonna fuck him up. I can't imagine Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he might not even make it through the year at this rate.
I
Carson
could,
Wentz.
yeah,
They've turned on him so bad.
I kind of feel bad for him. Kind of.
Well, it seems like ever since the Eagles won that Super Bowl without him, that kind of like shook his whole confidence or something.
Isn't it weird how like one little change in trajectory can just kind of fuck your shit up?
Yeah, like the littlest thing can just like throw you off. You never rebound.
Yeah, like Matt Ryan and his Super Bowl, Cam Newton and his Super Bowl.
Well, if you want to give some credit to Matt Ryan, and by the way, everybody was talking about bringing in Cam Newton to
Yeah,
Dallas. I don't hear those people now. Anyway, I said put some
no,
respect on
they were
Rush's
saying
name.
somebody else's name.
Who?
Oh, you know who?
Well, there's some people were saying Cam too, but the moral of the story is anybody but Rush.
Yeah.
And I don't see them saying that now. Now everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, I think
There ain't enough room.
Cam Newton can throw for 450 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I don't know if he can. How many interceptions are we gonna get with that?
I don't know.
We don't need interceptions
0.
with it.
He'll be throwing to CD Lamb. And then he'd be running. And then he'd be back. Until Mike McCarthy gets him hurt.
There is gonna be something that stops the Cowboys, and it's the coaching. Like, there's still some things that you can tell. Like, yeah, the defense is playing outside of their minds. Like I said, Dan Quinn has pretty much got himself another head coaching job off of this already.
I think he's pretty much the heir apparent for McCarthy.
Mm,
You don't think so?
I don't know if that's a good fit. He's already proven he can't be a head coach.
Dan Quinn?
I'm just saying he's gonna be up for head coach again.
Uh huh.
So he's
What are
gonna
you
get
talking?
another
Well, hold
head
on, hold
coaching job.
on. What are you talking about? He's proven he can't be a head coach.
He got fired,
Okay. He, he
and as a
he did take the Falcons to a Super Bowl though. The Falcons.
mm, that's
Exactly.
that's not people don't like talking about that.
He still took them there.
Yeah, and what is like in history's worst collapse.
Sure. But he did he
So,
he did he did take a professional team to a Super Bowl. And he also turned them around. Now unfortunately, they didn't collectively recover after that game. But he did take them there. He did improve them. He did change the he made the defense faster.
well, I'm just saying he
He's
can go be
proven
a
that he
head
could be
coach
a
somewhere.
coach.
He can go be a head coach somewhere.
Oh, okay,
Just not
so
not in
so
Dallas.
So
He's not
Jason
cutting the
Garrett,
Bengals.
Dave Campo, Mike McCarthy. When's the
I
last
don't.
time when's the last time the Cowboys have been to the NFC Championship game?
Doesn't matter. We have a standard here, and it's not
You know you don't.
losing.
You don't have a standard.
It's not giving up a 28-point lead or whatever the official number was.
The only standard is make sure Jerry's dick stays hard.
Yeah.
Make sure it stays moist and stiff.
Why is it moist?
You ever you ever rub a dry dick? It chafes after a while. You gotta keep it a little moist.
Moist? Is that the right term? Wouldn't it be lubed? Anyway,
I stand by moist.
I'm talking way too much about Jerry Jones' stiff dick. Even if he can get it. Oh, well, I guess he can. It gets cut all the time in the prostitute zone.
Mm. Does he really?
Yeah, he had a wreck a few months back. That was like
Yeah.
in the off season. He had a wreck, and
I
the
was just
area,
I was just driving by.
yeah, the area he was in was like known for prostitution. It's
Man.
like, what you doing over there, buddy?
Now he's rich
Like,
enough. You think that they'd be able to come to him? Why is he going to
guys, that's the way he likes it. He
the?
likes
Why is he debasing himself?
that's part of it. He's got to he's got to go find it. He wants, you know,
He's
the
got to find
thrill
the
of
hooker and then do her on her own pile of trash.
yeah. He's got to talk to her himself. She can't just show up. Like he's got to go. Hey, he's got to roll the window down. And he's gotta be there asking if you're a cop, and then ask her how much for whatever he wants.
Can you imagine you're just standing there and you see this limo pull up and you see the window just slowly roll down. You see Jerry Jones smile. Hey, come into my limo. I own the Dallas Cowboys. I fired Jimmy Johnson
Yeah,
and Tom Landry.
it would be a sight to see. But yeah, he
Do you
likes
think
to get
he's
his
like
hands
American
dirty and all
Psycho,
that.
where like as as he's as he's as he's boning him, like he looks at himself in the mirror and flexes?
Not him. I
Makes
mean,
them listen to Whitney Houston.
I can see like if he was like in good shape, I could see that. But he's not really, you know, jacked.
He could
If it
be.
was like,
If
well, just if
uh,
he was like a workout nut, yeah,
he
then I could see that.
he could be.
Oh, he never talks about it.
Just because he don't talk about it doesn't mean he doesn't talk about his prostitutes either.
He does.
Oh, does he? just,
In his roundabout way, he does.
just
Like the local radio station just says all these clips about him like alluding to his prostitutes and watching prawn and all that.
What does he say? Give
Like
me a Jerryism.
Like one of the Jerry Wisdoms is like, I want me some glory hole.
You can
and,
tell
and
he does a little
and when I hear
smile.
that, and when I hear that, it's like that has to be out of context. But in what context could that? Like, what feasible context could that be in?
Oh, I think there's only one context.
Yeah, but
unless it's a southern thing.
well, I think it was. Yeah, he was referring to. Uh, as a matter of fact, back when Zeke would jump into the to the Salvation Army pot thing
Uh-huh.
that always sits in the like during Thanksgiving. I think it was in reference to that or something, but I don't know. He knew damn well what he was. That just wasn't a coincidence that he called that a glory hole.
Huh.
But that's Jerry for you. Jerry.
Well, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Um,
We got sidetracked on
Cooper
Jerry's
Rush.
dick.
We were talking about Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Dan Quinn is he's a viable coach. Who the fuck else are you gonna get? Maybe Sean Payton. Maybe.
I mean, he's willing to come back. Um, if you give him the money, he said that himself.
Mm.
Or I'm sorry, maybe he said if it was the right opportunity.
And
But there's going to be a couple, and there's already some hot seats going around.
yeah,
So Dan Quinn is going to have his opportunities.
if he was smart, he'd hold out for Dallas. Cause it ain't going that Kellen Moore guy.
Yeah, that's over with. There was a there was a run where Kellen Moore was the heir apparent, but he's been exposed as shouldn't be even shouldn't even be in Dallas anymore.
Well, Jerry was saying dumb shit like, "Oh, I think they both could be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys." Like, well, you're gonna have to pick one. Oh no, I don't have to pick one. They can both be coach. What the fuck are you talking about, Jerry? Oh, Dallas Cowboys. You got a moist hard dick.
I want me some glory hole. And then there's another clip of him saying, "Do you want me to get it out and show it to you, or whip it out and show it?"
It's funny because I can hear just because of his little effeminate Southern voice.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And we did say
Old ass
there.
pervert.
We said there was coaches on the hot seat, right? Who do you think? Who do you think's gonna Dan Quinn's gonna replace if not Mike McCarthy? Because Mike McCarthy has to be on the hot seat, right?
Um, I mean, I think he is on the hot seat just being a Cowboys quarterback. I'm sorry, Cowboys head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a certain standard. You can't just be getting to the playoffs and losing in the first round.
Even though
So,
that's what they've been doing for the past, you know,
right. And that's why coaches don't keep their jobs because,
unless
you
you're
got to get
Jason
further than
Garrett,
that.
Dave Campo.
Well, I mean, Garrett,
He was there for a
he's a
while,
perennial playoff coach. So,
but he
and
didn't. He didn't. I mean, after Because remember when Tony Dungy got fired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because all he did was go to the NFC title game? Like
Yeah.
you're not getting us to where we need to go. You're fired. Like at some point you gotta kind of do that. Like okay, you got us here, but we want to get there, and you're just not getting us there.
There was a weird there's a weird stat. Um what, let me see if I can, but yeah, there what I'm getting at is new head coaches, they win pretty quickly.
Unless you're Josh McDaniel.
Well, well, yeah, he doesn't win. But I think I think there's a weird stat like a coach it's like within the first 2 or 3 years makes it to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean I'm not saying just get rid of you get 2 years and then you're out, but saying after a while
What kind of stat? That doesn't make any sense. Like, there's been one team that's been the Super Bowl champion for the last 10 years.
makes it to the Super Bowl, then makes it to the playoffs. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess the stats, and if I had it, it would make a lot more sense. But it speaks to how fast these new coaches these new coaches like win. So,
Okay.
so you don't have a lot of time. You don't need a lot of time.
I don't know. I think
Yeah. So,
I think it depends on the organization though. Like if you take over the Steelers, no, you probably shouldn't need that much time. They draft well. They get a good office. They got supportive ownership. They have good facilities. All the stuff you'd probably want to ask for in a team that you're just taking over. But if you take over like I don't know, fucking the Browns, Jesus Christ, I think the
who should be undefeated right now? The
should
Browns.
be. Oh, they always find a way to fuck up.
Yeah, and they did against the Jets.
Yeah.
Boy, did they fuck up.
So I mean, I just think there's a lot. You can't. I don't think it's universal. The timetable is when you can expect a coach to turn things around, especially like I would say that the Browns ownership is night and day from the Steelers ownership.
Well, if I can find this stat, um, it's very relevant to the conversation. Okay, I think this is it.
Doesn't even know if it's the stat. Gee whiz.
Yeah, I'll have to. We'll circle back to that. I'll get that next week. Tune in next week and you'll get that stat.
All right, so
We're gonna circle back the conversation all the way back to that stat.
great.
Maybe
So
I'll
let's
start the show with it.
fine. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Oh, but it was such a good stat. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our NFL talk until the end of the show. Where, of course, we do our picks for entertainment purposes only.
Well, that and
Let's talk some.
you should probably bet your life savings on our expert analysis on these picks. That's what I do.
Mm. I said it's for entertainment purposes.
Or if you want to bet.
Entertainment purposes only.
Just throw it
So
our
let's
way.
talk about some wrestling news. This is always a
Okay.
fascinating thing.
What is that?
Wrestling news.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's always fascinating.
What makes it so fascinating?
It just is.
What makes
I
it
don't
more
know.
fascinating than, say, NFL news? What specifically do you find so fascinating? Please tell me in great detail.
Well, because it's so much more behind the scenes, I guess, than the NFL news.
Yeah?
Like the NFL news, especially during the season, it's just like, oh, this guy got hurt. This guy got a concussion. This guy was fencing.
This team's in shambles.
Yeah, this head coach is on the hot seat. He's probably getting his ass kicked out.
Oh my god, if I hear about Brady and Giselle one more fucking time, I'm gonna scream.
Oh yeah, their marriage is on the rocks,
Yeah,
allegedly.
but I don't
So,
care.
yeah. Well, I mean, she's gonna be losing out.
Is she? Isn't she,
You gonna be getting that Brady dick. You.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Gotcha. So back to
but
wrestling news.
yeah. So let's talk about some wrestling news. Which
And let's try to bring up some news without you mentioning a penis. God. Sick.
you mentioned the penis last time.
Did
That's
I?
my first penis. You were on two penises. I'm on one penis.
How am I on two? Who?
Yeah, Jerry's penis,
Uh-huh.
and then you had uh I don't remember the other one.
I don't think
But
so.
you definitely started Jerry's penis.
Okay, fair enough.
So we'll just say one and
Okay,
one penis.
fair
One
enough.
penis to one penis.
Got those cheeks busted.
It's definitely a PG show. But so just a little bit of update from last week. We were talking about all the ex WWE guys who allegedly requested their release.
Yeah.
Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews, Andrade El Idolo. Well, there was a new report that came out that Tony Khan pretty much told him to shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
and he put he put a new edict in. I guess that would be the best word for it. That's the Vince McMahon word. That there will be no releases out of your contract. You sign a contract, you're gonna stay for the whole thing, unless there's like extreme circumstances.
Right.
Uh, the circumstance not being I want to go back to the other company.
Sure.
Like you gotta have some extreme thing that happens that you need out of your contract.
Well, I mean, they did sign a contract.
Yeah.
If
Um. It,
I mean, if
it
Tony
sounds
Khan
like
lets
he
people just go back and forth willy nilly, then what's the point of having the contract in the first place?
right. It sounds like he's just being a boss.
Yeah, being a businessman,
Um.
not just a boss.
Yeah. And on
Now,
one hand, if if they want out of their contract, let's say they have like 2, 3 years on their contract, they want out.
mhm.
That's a long time to keep someone who's not happy. Now,
Yeah,
maybe you can smooth it over, but I don't know. That's a long time.
you could also pay him just to sit at home and do nothing.
And that's the Vince McMahon way.
Yeah. Well,
It's like,
I can see why people would kind of criticize AEW because they're supposed to be the the more positive, inclusive alternative to the WWE, where everybody can be a wrestler. Everybody can play wrestler. We got a whole stadium where you can just be a wrestler. You want to wrestle the Young Bucks? Come on over. We'll have tryouts.
What are you talking about? Was this a shtick or something? What are you doing?
I'm just saying. I could see I could see why people would be upset because they're doing WWE shit. Like 3 times in the whole setup, you just said that was very Vince McMahon like, and he's the devil. He's the guy that
Well, no
he's the
one,
guy that pays women to voluntarily have sex with him.
no one criticized Vince McMahon for his business mind. It was more his
The fuck that
creative.
no. He was a ruthless businessman, very ruthless.
I think he was praised for that, for what I heard. I don't know anybody who, I mean, who wouldn't want to run a business like Vince McMahon? WWE is
He
making
put a
more
lot of
money than
people
they
out of
ever were.
business.
So that sucks for them.
Uh,
That sucks for him. That's
no,
just
no. He did it. He didn't. It wasn't just like a circumstance of him just existing, and he would just happen to have a better product. Like he actively put other talent out of business. He stole talent from AEW, not AEW, fucking AWA.
the territories when he was not supposed to ever
Yeah.
poach from them.
So I mean, yeah,
I still don't hear a
you can
problem.
respect the huh?
I said I still don't hear a problem.
Okay.
That's just being a good businessman.
Well,
What
maybe you don't have a moral compass
when you're trying to launch?
or any honor system.
Hey, when you're trying to line your own pockets, I don't see what you need to be worrying about other people's pockets for. Like, of course I'm trying to put you out of business. You're my competition. If I whatever I have to do legally to do it, I'm gonna do it. Like, why do I have to? I don't know. Why do I have to care for your needs
You don't have
when
to
I'm
care
trying
for
to
the
win?
you don't have to care for their needs. You just don't do shady shit. Just do better. Don't have your little buddies meet up with wrestlers in the parking lot of their little towns. Like, hey, little Billy, you want to wrestle for you want to wrestle for a real school? Give him a van. Come on, Billy.
You want to make more money than you ever have?
Yeah.
Come work for us.
No, there was that.
Oh, you're poaching our people. Okay, well,
But again, there was
I'm not
contracts
doing it.
involved.
Well, I don't see anything that was wrong with what he did as a business person. It was just as like a creative and personally, like
So wait.
I take back that second part. Just creative. Just
Okay.
creative. I had a
Okay.
problem with creative.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like, and even early creative was good, you know, NWO or not NWO, but um, Degeneration X and Nation Domination, even going back like Hogan and Macho Man, stuff like that. These were in the storylines from even before Attitude Era. They were decent. So, and he created WrestleMania. I'm not trying to like suck Vince, but I'm just saying he knew how to run a business.
Suck Vince where?
His ego only.
Suck his.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Okay. I
Are
don't
you
know.
talking
That's why I
about
asked you to clarify.
are you are you
You're the one
are you
telling the
talking
story.
about
I
a
want you
body
to
part?
explain.
Are you talking about a body part that we've agreed that we're one in one and we're not going to mention anymore?
Oh, I didn't know we weren't going to mention it.
It's just a term. You're sucking his ego. Suck that ego dry.
Okay. You spit on it and you suck that ego.
Yeah.
Uh, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
this we've gone off the rails, but we'll cut all this out, so that's good.
Good.
I'm sure no one will hear this part.
Nope.
But yeah, going
Um,
back to the contract thing. So yeah, Tony Khan pretty much said no more, no one's going anywhere unless you have the circumstances, which I believe is it's good.
yeah. I mean,
Because again, they have a contract, so
yeah,
this is just what
regardless
you
of
gotta
whether or
do. You
not,
gotta sit it out.
yeah, I mean, regardless of whether or not it looks like WWE practices, I mean, really the worst case scenario is you got somebody that's unhappy. And if that happens, you just say, hey, just just stay at home. You're not going to get what you want. Just stay at home.
Yeah. Now since then, since that news came out, um, Buddy Matthews has come out and said that it was fake that he wanted his release, which you would have to believe him because if the actual person is saying that's not true, but you have the dirt sheets that's saying it's true, then you would obviously have to believe the person, the direct source who's saying it's not true.
I guess.
Um,
Or the direct source
now
is trying to save face.
I guess.
No, I just said I was going
Um,
to go to a WWE show, not going to go work at WWE. God, Dave.
well, it would be reasonable for him to want to go back. He is dating Rhea Ripley, so you know
Why?
what he maybe he wants to work alongside his girlfriend, so that's a reasonable thing.
Yeah? I don't
You
like
said
all
why?
the. Yeah.
I don't know why. Because he wants to.
Just.
Because
Okay.
he's not. Because he no longer wants to date Alexa Bliss.
He must. So you downgraded?
Well,
He looked at himself.
I guess
He looked at himself and said, "You know what? I can get Alexa Bliss. Let me go ahead and get the Insane Clown Posse's third member."
no. He said I'm done with Alexa Bliss. Let me move on to ICP.
Okay, that's better.
Um, but his girlfriend works there. I don't know, but you would think he'd want to work with alongside his girlfriend.
Yeah,
Um,
they've probably put it in each other's buttholes by now. So yeah, they
but
probably
what?
want to.
And then next you got Malakai Black. He actually went on live on Instagram
Yeah,
and he pretty much shot down the rumors.
I don't.
Pretty
The
much.
last thing I want to do is to go live as he's going live.
Yeah.
But it's so
He pretty
important that
much
I gotta go on Instagram.
shot down the rumors of him. He said he did ask for his release, but that's been smoothed over since I think he said Double or Nothing. It was either Double or Nothing or All Out. But anyway, they smoothed it over. Um, now But the reason I mentioned that was kind of I wanted to mention that for a reason. During this live, he talked about he was receiving death threats.
Yeah,
That part's not funny, but
it is.
he's receiving death threats over wanting to leave AEW. Now, what kind of geek is sending someone death threats for wanting to leave a company? What kind of loser? Basement dwelling, Cheeto stain, having funky. They probably stink too. With their with their comb over.
They stink.
Yeah, with their comb over. Like, oh, you want to leave them? And like sitting back with typing with their thick ass glasses.
Well,
Time to send that death threat.
I just don't understand why they would. Because there's been a couple stars that have reportedly wanted to leave, right? Like, did Cody get death threats?
He didn't say. Maybe he did.
Maybe he got one death threat. He seems a little emotional. Like, one, he's going to Instagram live and posting his feelings.
Who, Malakai?
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's sitting there in his
Well, he
car.
did.
He's sitting there. No, no,
He
no.
did.
He's sitting there in his car pouting. The last thing I want to do is go on Instagram live. I got, especially with all this real world. He sounds just like a fucking 16-year-old girl.
Well, he did allegedly take time off for his mental health. So,
Well,
you know,
that kind
if
of
you're
reinforces my point.
if you're taking off for your mental health
Then
and
you,
you're getting death threats, I'm pretty sure you probably just reach a breaking point.
I don't know. Plus, it's the internet.
The
Has
internet could be a cruel place.
has Malachi Black never received a death threat?
Probably not.
This is, I don't know. You just think that's par for the course.
It's just how the internet be.
Yeah. Like
Like, oh,
if lowly YouTubers get death threats, you know.
is this only your first one? I get one a week.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is that that's your guy? I think. Wait a minute. Let me check my death threats. I think that got that guy too.
I don't know.
You
I
didn't have to
just
take him a little bit serious. I mean, if you if you're the person who's sending, I don't think it's just like always some little 16-year-old kid giggling while they're sending the death threat. Like some of these people have mental illnesses.
okay.
They can't they can't blur the lines between real and fake. And they're gonna like show up and try to Selena someone.
Well, that's why you don't just walk around with a big old bullseye that says Malachi Black on it.
Well, these geeks, they probably already know where he lives.
Don't answer the door. He's
Hey,
probably
break
got the
in.
he's probably got the cops on speed dial. He's probably got a reinforced bathroom door that he uses to hide in when he argues with his girlfriend. So,
I mean, um, this is not related to his thing, but there's like you can see you can see sometimes there's like Reddit threads of
yeah.
people like saying the hotel that the talents are staying in and like the, the code name they're using to check in
Mm-hmm.
and their itinerary and what time they're going to be at the hotel. These are fans, by the way. These are not like
These are not evildoers.
I'm saying these are not like people who should have this information. These are just some internet sleuths doing this research to find out, oh, he's going to be at this hotel at this time and he's going to stay in this room because he's using this fake name.
And
So,
do you think you go
if,
over there, you do all that work, and then you go travel to that hotel, you knock on that door, and he sees you through that peephole? You think he's opening?
I would hope not. But I'm saying if you're going through that much trouble to find the information, it's not out of the realm to think that you would actually, you know, do something crazy because obviously your mental state is not there.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't necessarily have to be on the internet for that.
You don't, but it's
I'd be
still.
more, I'd be more worried about the ones not wanting the attention.
I mean, even like I don't know, just anywhere you see people running up on, you just see fans running up on people.
It's because of the lack of security.
Usually, yeah, you get security and then they get roughed up. I mean, someone ran up on Dave Chappelle
Yeah,
while he
that's a
was on
crime.
stage,
How dare you?
and then he apparently he paid for it, but
Not
he
enough.
still did it.
You don't, you don't, you don't attack Dave Chappelle. He's an American treasure.
Oh, people are just crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, back to the story. I don't give a shit about Malakai Black anyway. So he could stay in AEW. I never really. I thought he had a really cool entrance, but this little. I'm looking for somebody to fight. I'm waiting for somebody to knock on my door. Yeah.
that's because Vince McMahon ruined him. His NXT stuff was better. The
I wasn't
entrance
impressed
from
with that either.
NXT, well, the entrance from NXT was a lot better. They took away his music, they took away his entrance, like the little creaky thing that he used to rise up on. They took all that away. If he does go back to WWE, I'm sure he'd be booked well with Triple H. His wife is there, so there's that too. But he's in AEW. His contract is locked down, so and I guess the moral of the story is internet sleuths are weird, and he went on to clear the air. Someone else who cleared the air was Cody Rhodes. He gave a little injury update. Um, Now his was kind of weird. He pretty much said that they won't tell him like an exact time because they know that he'll try to beat it or something.
Makes sense.
Um,
Like he'll test
so
it and push himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he will probably be back by the Royal Rumble. That's what everybody's thinking, and he'll be challenging. He'll The fantasy booked portion of this is he comes back at the Rumble. He enters number one, runs the table, and then goes and takes down Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
That's the that's that's the narrative that the internet has come up with.
You know, I was just thinking about this the other day. Do you even miss Cody Rhodes?
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's one of the better storytellers. Him and Randy Orton.
Okay.
What I'm missing is stories.
I mean, maybe it's just because he hasn't been around long enough to really sink his teeth into anything. Because he did get hurt fairly soon into his
Yeah,
return.
he only wrestled Seth Rollins and The
Right.
Miz. Like he hasn't really done anything.
exactly. So maybe it's not fair to judge him on that, but I don't know. Now I would love to see him over the fucking Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio and his lesbian daughter.
Yes, speaking of Judgment Day, well, I guess not relevant at all. Just a quick note. You're, it looks like one of your dream matches is kind of building out, and no one's mentioning this yet. So I just want to be the first to mention that I see this playing out, and I don't look forward to it.
My dream
You
match.
will look forward. Yeah, one of your dream matches.
Okay.
So they're kind of planting seeds that the giant Omos, the Nigerian giant Omos, 7 foot whatever, 4'3", will be wrestling Braun Strowman.
Hmm.
And you said one of your favorite matches was the Big Show versus the Great Khali. This is, so you're getting it back. You're getting another one.
I love that match. That was a textbook wrestling match.
Yeah, so they're
If I
planting seeds
if I ever had a
that that's
wrestling
going to
school, I
happen.
would make everybody sit down and take notes with that match.
Like, this is a clinic.
Look at how they sell. Look at the storytelling.
Look at all of it. But yeah, they're planting seeds of that match happening.
You know, I don't
I'm guessing it'll be Crown Jewel or whatever Saudi show.
I don't think I've had the pleasure of watching Omos. Uh, I read that he was on Raw. I must have skipped that. I skipped a lot of Raw. So
Well, he's pretty much the Great Khali.
okay,
He wrestles as good as you would imagine a 7'3" person wrestling.
gotcha.
Like, you ain't gonna be seeing Bret Hart in there.
And I feel like they already kind of wasted Strowman because he's feuding with Alpha Academy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess Omos had a match on Raw,
Mm,
and during the match they were talking about um, that Braun Strowman is gonna wrestle, like you said, the Alpha Academy next week. He's gonna wrestle Chad Gable.
yeah.
So on commentary, they were talking about um, the match that just got made. So he's like, "Oh, this is just in breaking next week. Braun Strowman will be facing Chad Gable." And MVP was on commentary because he manages Omos, and he said, "You know, you got the." He's like, "Forget about the monster among men. You got a real monster in the ring right now." Talking about Omos,
Uh,
and I guess I forgot what he said, but at the end of the match, it was a squash match. Omos like buried. He wrestled two jobbers,
yeah.
and at the end of the match, he said, "This is the real monster right here." So yeah, they're kind of planting seeds that that's gonna happen.
They're trying to at least.
Yeah. So
Oh, we'll see what
and
happens.
again, I'll see that'll probably show up at the Saudi show. But I just wanted to be because no one else in the wrestling community is mentioning it. I wanted to be the first.
You know what I legit want to see? I want to see Kevin
Well,
Owens versus Otis.
I'm sure we're getting close to that.
Well, I mean,
They're kind of
they did the tag team thing, but like I want to see a one-on-one Otis versus Kevin Owens. I love Otis. Otis might be one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
when they keep talking about his girth.
His yeah, his girth and he gives that he gives that dead stare.
Yeah, you gotta love the girthy thickness of
Yeah,
Otis.
he's just a big fucking shit kicker.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens,
Um,
he's not small either, so but he ain't no Otis. But I don't know, seeing two big boys that know how to
slapping me.
wrestle. Yeah, because unlike the Great Khali and Big Show, there'd be a little athleticism there.
Yeah. Um, Another big fella that is kind of teasing a return is one Billeth Goldberg.
Oh God,
He is not retired, so says him,
no.
and
Let me guess. He wants to fight
he's
Roman Reigns too.
of course he wants to fight Roman
Of
Reigns,
course. God.
but he's just kind of waiting for the call, as he says. But
Oh.
what is this from the bump? I guess. I know he was on the bump recently,
Uh huh.
but he we'll just say he was from the bump, probably from the bump. Says he says that his days are numbered. Aren't he knows his days are numbered, but his days are not over yet. I've got a monstrous garage and a gym being built that will be done in about a month. And if you think I'm not going to be living in there for the rest of my life, preparing for what's next, you're crazy. Regarding Roman Reigns, Goldberg expressed his desire to give him a receipt for what happened at Elimination Chamber, seemingly leaving the door open for a rematch.
Oh boy. So yay,
I hope
another Goldberg
to
match.
everything. I hope to everything. I don't even mind a Goldberg match, right? Um,
I kind of
what
do.
did I say? What did I say last time? It'd be good. It like triggers the nostalgia to hear his music hit, see him walk through the fireworks. You know, gets for whatever reason he's sitting in the locker room when he knows it's his match, for the security guards to knock on the door and walk it out, and then the his whole alpha male thing. I don't mind a Goldberg match. What I do
Well,
mind is him challenging for a title.
well, you see, you say all that. There's the nostalgia. There's the music and the long, the long drawn out entrance where they knock on his door and he comes out and he's roaring and then he breathes out the smoke and then blah 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 blah. But then the bell rings and that ain't Bill Goldberg.
Well, his matches, I mean, they're not like the good thing about his matches is they're just power moves all the way through. So,
But even the
you're
power
just gonna
moves, they're
see him.
not. He's older. He's slower. He's not the same Goldberg. It's
He's
just
not, but
and that kills any nostalgia that the music and the entrance would have. At least for me. I mean, watching one of the legends growing up wrestle today is not my idea of nostalgia. I'd rather remember them when they were kicking ass and taking names versus
well, I'm
wheezing.
not big on the actual match part of it. But yeah, I just like hearing the music, watching the entrance, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll watch the
During the
WWE
actual,
network.
like when the actual bell rings, I'll probably get up and do something else. But and to the match, and then, the match will be like 5 minutes. So there's
Yeah.
that too. So it's not gonna be a big thing. But it doesn't need to be for the title. Like let him wrestle someone else.
Right.
Like you can put on a big spectacle for him or a big match that doesn't have to be for a title, and
Can
let him do his
wrestle
thing,
Kurt Angle.
squash someone. Well, I don't think Kurt Angle can wrestle anymore.
Well, neither can Goldberg. It's perfect.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I think something about painkillers or something. I don't know.
Again.
Yeah,
Okay.
or maybe he's gotten past. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but
Gotcha.
I think he can't. He physically can't wrestle right now or ever, something like that. Um, but yeah, be prepared. Whether you like it or not, be prepared for another Goldberg match in our near future.
Well, let's just hope Triple H doesn't call him.
Yeah, there is that.
That's
Like
the best case
Triple H
scenario.
does have to. Triple H does have to call him. Um, quick little side note while we're talking about old people still wrestling. Um, so apparently the Great Muta is going to be wrestling Sting for what if like I don't know if it's his retirement thing or what, but the Great Muta is doing some special show and his opponent is going to be Sting.
Huh.
So yeah,
Ricky Steamboat's coming back to wrestle too.
yeah. You got these old timers; they just don't know when to give it up.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
It's like I want to die in there.
It's but it's always sad because they
And
don't
it's funny. Uh-huh.
because they don't look the same. They don't move the same. They don't work the same. They
Yep,
look
they just look
they
old.
yeah, they look and work like old men because that's what
Well,
they
it's
are.
funny that Steamboat, just got through saying that he wasn't going to come back because he didn't want to tarnish his legacy. And now here we are, a few months later, and
Yeah,
he's coming back. Like he just turned down that Ric Flair thing because he didn't want to come back,
maybe he just didn't
and
want to
now
work with
he's back.
Ric Flair. Maybe that's what it is. Like fuck you, Ric Flair. Maybe they're doing a big angle.
Well, Ric
Maybe Ric.
Flair, he said he ain't done.
Yeah, no.
Like he came out and said, "Yeah, I ain't
The,
done."
the day after, the day after his match, I regret. I regret saying that was my last match. It was just my last match there.
Yeah, like yeah. So he did all this build for Ric Flair's last match, and it was like, yeah, I changed my mind on that.
Yeah, so maybe Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair are building an angle together.
Well, I'll
Ricky
be sure not to watch it.
Ricky Steamboat was Ric Flair's first opponent, and Ricky Steamboat said, "Fuck you. I don't want to tarnish my legacy." And then shortly after Ric Flair's quote unquote retirement match, Ricky Steamboat's going back into the ring. Now Ric Flair has to be pissed. Maybe he'll interrupt it with a chair.
And bleeding.
Yeah, he'll elbow drop a couple jackets.
I don't know. If he did that, I don't even know if he'd get up with how he is. But we have a couple superstars that have sent out tweets saying they're unhappy with each company.
Yeah.
Yes, you got one being sorry, I almost said it wrong. Mustafa Ali, and the other
Mustafa.
is
What the
El.
fuck?
That's
Mustafa?
no, you old bigot. It's it's Mustafa. It's Mustafa. That's how you say it. That's how
Mustafa?
he says it.
That's
Yeah.
how he's. Well, fuck him. It's Mustafa. God damn it.
You want him riding a magic carpet too?
Yes. Maybe maybe be on TV more often. If he had a fucking genie and a magic carpet. Mustafa.
Well,
What the fuck? What the fuck? It sounds like Christopher. Mustafa.
well,
Do you want some
he
parsnips,
voiced his
Mustafa?
Mustafa, not Don't be don't be putting the ER on it. You put an A. Don't you put the ER.
It's part of my heritage. I don't know what it is. I'm just programmed to put ER on the end of
Instead of
everything.
A. The
It's
A
like
is just not natural. They gotta put the ER.
dyslexia. How people can't read shit. That's kind of like what that is. When I just see an A, I just see ER. so, so Mustafa is upset.
Yeah, so he sends a tweet that says, um, he kind of hints at his being unhappy under. Now we're under the Triple H regime now, and he still is unhappy. He said, "I know why." This was the tweet. Um, so he quote tweeted someone. The quote tweet was, "I never understand why in the world WWE won't go all in on Mustafa Ali. He's a fantastic he's fantastic at promos and has the in-ring talent to match." Um, and so that was the original tweet. He quote tweets it and says, "I know why, and I'll knock that shit down too." Don't even know what that meant, but
Apparently, nobody
that
does.
like I don't know what he says that he knows why he's kept down. Don't know what that means, but um, that kind of speaks to his being not happy.
Well, didn't he get like a little push?
Um, he was with Retribution. That was kind of a push,
Like he
if
had
you
his
want to
own
call it
stable,
that.
right?
Yeah, that was a push if you want to call it that. But you know, they had Slapjack and T-Bar, and they kind of really ruined what Retribution like. Yeah, they were a joke. Like a couple weeks after they started,
Mm. Well, it sounds like they didn't stick up for their characters. They just
and
allowed
then
themselves to be turned into jokes.
well, they were jokes. The fans turned them into jokes.
Oh.
Um, and then apparently he was supposed to come back for and do a anti-American angle, or not angle, but he was supposed to do an anti-American gimmick, and
Mm.
he didn't want to do that because he said that was like too cliche.
That is pretty
You
cliche.
know, just because he's Muslim doesn't mean he has to,
Hate
you know,
America.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to do that, and he's from Chicago too, so
Hey
that
Mustafa,
it
we
kind of
want Mustafa. We want you to do
go.
an angle where you fly an airplane into Chris Jericho's house.
What do you think of that, Mustafa? Golly. But that's one. That, so he's one unhappy. The other one is,
Well, just real quick, I don't know what all these motherfuckers are gonna expect. Like they think just because Triple H is in charge that they're all automatically gonna be pushed to the top. Like there's only one motherfucker that's gonna be at the top.
Yeah, you can't push everybody.
Yeah, and right now, I hate to say it, but Roman Reigns has the most compelling shit.
Yeah.
Like when they throw the ones up, ooh shit. And they got Sokoa Joe and Sami Zayn, and you got the Usos, and you got Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I will say the best thing on TV right now is the whole Sami Zayn thing,
Yeah, that thing
wherever
they did
they're
with the
going with
T-shirt,
that.
that was really good.
Yeah, wherever they're going with that whole Sami Zayn thing, that's the most compelling. But I don't think he necessarily wants to be pushed to the top. Well, I'm sorry. He wants to be pushed to the top, but I don't think necessarily he's gonna be pushed to the top. Maybe pushed to the mid card.
Wait,
You
who are we
know,
talking about?
Mustafa Ali. You know,
Oh,
back in the day, not everybody had like a needed a championship to have a good storyline. You had like the Big Boss Man and Nails and the Mountie. That was like a mid card thing. It was nowhere near a title. Um, you know, I expected you to say something on that,
I was actually
but
trying to
you
think
didn't.
of something, but I couldn't. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well,
Um,
I guess the moral of it, they had stories without being in the title picture. They just had stories that were taking them week to week. Um, Papa Shango and whoever he would be feuding with, Undertaker, that was never for a title. It was a
no,
compelling thing.
I think Ultimate Warrior too, right?
Yeah.
That's see, I contributed.
So you don't necessarily have to have him competing for a title, but being on TV every week in some kind of storyline would be good. That's Mustafa Ali we're talking about still.
Mustafa.
Yeah. The other person is in the other company, AEW, Andrade El Idolo. He Now his is a little bit less cryptic, but also more cryptic. He just simply tweeted out. He just simply tweeted out hashtag free El Idolo, and which is odd timing on the back of Tony Khan saying no one ain't going anywhere.
Hmm.
But he's trying to start this whole hashtag trend, meaning release him from his contract. Interesting enough, um, this coming Friday on Rampage, he he has a match with Dark Order number 10, and it's a match where I'm
Wait,
sorry,
the
it's
the the person he's wrestling as Dark Order number 10.
yes.
How many Dark Orders are there?
So the Dark Order is this whole group, and everyone has a number. So
Uh,
his is 10, and then there's well, right now there's not that many of them because most of them got
there's at
fired.
least 10, right?
No,
No.
there used to be, but most of them got fired. So now there's Evil Uno, um,
So why wouldn't they just move up the
number
number?
five, number five, and number six. That's Silva and Reynolds, and then 10. Fill in the gaps of the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. It's dumb.
But yeah. So he has a match coming up with Dark Order number 10, Preston Vance. And the match is Mask versus Career. So if Andrade wins, he gets the mask. If he loses, he has to leave AEW.
Hmm.
Uh, which I think it's interesting with him starting the whole free El Idolo hashtag.
Right.
You know, most don't think he'll lose the match, but it'd just be interesting if he did lose the match and then has to leave.
I guess we'll see what happens. Are you
Yeah,
gonna Are you
and
gonna be one of the 5 people watching Rampage?
uh, I might watch that match, just that match, or look at the highlights of that match. I do record Rampage, I just don't watch it.
Okay.
Um, if whenever there's something, then I'll go and like fast forward it through. But most part, yeah, it's
Good.
like, why would I spend my time on the show? It's glorified dark. And what's going on? We see you in the chat, user Sean. What is going on?
So is that all about El Idolo and Mustafa?
Golly, that sounded that sounded hard.
Dollar and Mustafa?
Yeah, so yeah, he started the trend on Twitter. So, and also he tweeted out Hourglass. So I don't know, two little cryptic tweets, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's fun. It's good that they each have their own um, unhappiness. Now, it would be interesting if we saw like, and Tony Khan already said WWE is not gonna work with him, so it'll never happen. But it'd be interesting if they had like started like a trade system, so you could like trade Idolo for Mustafa, and that'd be something interesting. Like, okay, he's unhappy, I'll trade you for him.
That used to be how it was done back in the day.
Yeah, it'd be something. And with him being a sports, Tony Khan being a sports guy,
Allegedly.
it'd be it'd be something to implement. Hey, Jaguars are like in first place right now.
No thanks to Tony Khan.
It's all thanks to him. He put together the team.
He didn't
Anyway,
put together shit. Don't anyway me. I'll anyway you. I do the anyways.
we're getting sidetracked. Let's get to to the the meat of
The
this,
meat.
the biggest thing here.
Okay.
What we teased about what is in the title. So we have a superstar that says he is going to be this generation's The Rock.
He is the most
That's,
exciting thing to happen to wrestling in a decade.
yes, that person being, I mean, just him saying that, you probably could guess already, but that person is MJF.
Maxwell
Now,
Jacob Freeman.
yeah, so he was on a Barstool Sports podcast by the name
KFC
of
Radio.
KFC Radio,
Yeah.
and they talked a lot about his career,
They talked a lot about the
his
Jews.
that too,
God
his
damn.
contract negotiation that's coming up, and he kind of talked about him being this generation's Rock. Now,
Yeah.
in a sense, what he was saying was he's going to be that superstar that makes the transition from wrestling to Hollywood and be like a big Hollywood star. So you have John Cena, The Rock, and Batista are in that category. And he said he's going to be one of those types because he has like charisma. He has it in wrestling. He thinks that'll transition him to the next stage.
Uh, I th- I like
So he's comparing himself to The Rock. What do you
yeah.
think?
Well, let me first start off that I was never a Rock guy. Um, the Rock was always there for me. I was always a Stone Cold guy. Um, it always irritated me that The Rock kept leaving and then coming back. Especially that one time he came back. The Rock is home, and then he left.
Like a week later,
Yeah. Um,
after he said he was never leaving.
right. But with that being said, like, there's no comparison at all. Like, The Rock is entertaining, but he's on like a whole nother level. Like, not only does he elevates not only his performance, but he elevates the performance of those around him. Like, he makes everything around him better. I think MJF just knows how to make MJF better.
Well, he's elevated some people.
Like who?
Um, well, they botched it afterwards, but uh, Wardlow, he
Okay.
elevated Wardlow to a superstar level, and then they botched it right afterwards. Or Tony Khan didn't follow that up.
Okay. This is
Um,
Wardlow.
yeah, I guess that's his biggest project so far.
Okay.
Um, and again, if Tony Khan would have followed that up, he won a title after it, but he didn't follow that up the way he should have. Like Wardlow should be a killer right now,
Yeah.
and he's barely on TV.
Well, I just know in that 40-minute interview that all MJF could really do was talk about himself. And I get that that's like his shtick, but that I mean I don't know. Like he doesn't add value to me at least to the shit that he's in by what he says. Like if he's wrestling CM Punk, like I think he would act the same as if he was wrestling Daniel Bryan or John Cena or anybody. He would just talk about how great he is. I don't think there would be any difference.
Yeah. Now he did say, and again, he's obviously in character this whole interview.
Yeah.
Um, for the most part, I think there were some kernels of truth, but I think a lot of it was just him being in character.
Mm.
Uh, he did compare himself to The Rock in the sense of he he doesn't necessarily get out there and wrestle a 60-minute classic,
Right.
but he stands out because of what he can do on the microphone. Uh, I
Well,
thought it was funny that they pointed out in the interviews, like he said, "I'm not one of the get you on the ground and grapple you guys." It's like, what is this, the fucking Olympics?
yeah, I heard that. He kind of embarrassed. He embarrassed himself with some of the shit he said.
Well, again, he was in character, but
Yeah, but he's like, I only have to wrestle once a month. I
yeah,
don't know.
because he's a draw.
Right.
Like
And that may
anytime
be.
he wrestles, it's special, and he's also saving himself for his contract.
Mm.
But what were you gonna say?
Um, I lost it. Keep going. Maybe it'll come back.
Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
the Rock can wrestle though.
he can.
Like he
MJF
doesn't
can
have
wrestle.
to. Not like the Rock.
Well, he doesn't have a people's elbow or anything like that, but he could wrestle.
The Rock is an athlete. MJF isn't an athlete.
Did you hear in the interview? He said he got he was gonna start as a freshman as linebacker, which I mean seems a little small to be a linebacker, but that's what he said. He
Freshman
said you
where?
can look that up.
Freshman in high school?
In college,
Oh,
he's
well,
gonna start his freshman year as
just
linebacker.
because he played at New Hampshire State.
Hey, starting is starting.
Dwayne Johnson started for the Miami Hurricanes.
Starting is starting.
No, it's
Doesn't
not
matter if you're
starting.
D7.
Starting for the Miami Hurricanes is completely different than starting for New Hampshire State. Don't even pretend.
There's only so many starting jobs in the country that you can have.
Okay, starting. So for your quarterback, you can't have the Alabama quarterback. You gotta get New Hampshire State's quarterback.
Okay.
Starting. It's a starter.
Hey,
You're gonna win with them.
Josh Allen went to Wyoming,
Okay.
so
There you go.
it
So New Hampshire State.
doesn't it doesn't necessarily mean because you're at a bigger school or not, you're that much better of an athlete. It just means
Sure,
you got into a better school.
sure, sure as shit helps. If you're that much better of an athlete, then why aren't you going to the better school?
Well, there's
Why isn't the school that wants the best athletes in the country not wanting you?
they get it wrong sometimes.
Okay.
Again, Josh Allen, Wyoming,
Well, I just think
Patrick
that
Mahomes, Texas Tech.
I don't think there's any comparison.
I don't think there's a comparison right now. Um, it's gonna be something to say. There's not a comparison right now, and I think for there to be a comparison, he would have to go to WWE for
Yeah.
it even to be like a conversation. He would need to go to WWE for that to even like start up.
Why is that? I thought AEW is awesome.
They are, they are. I like
They're
AEW,
they're the greatest.
but what AEW is not is
Good.
the they're they're not story or rest or they're not story driven.
No shit. They're
They're
not anything
wrestling driven.
driven. They're not even wrestling driven. They just have some guys go out. Hey, go out to the ring. Just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, they wrestle. As opposed to WWE, they have like stories. They have over the top
Shit
shit
mean
that happens.
shit means something.
So so now with the direction of where Triple H is taking it, maybe that's going to be less and less. Um, everybody's calling it Monday Night NXT or Monday Night Black and Gold is what everybody's calling it
Wow. Well,
because it's just turning into NXT.
I don't remember black and gold having that much talking. My God.
Well, I'm saying if he went to, he would have to go to WWE and get underneath like the more sports entertainment. I guess that's what I'm saying ultimately. WWE is catered around the sports entertainment part of it. So you'd have to go there, do the sports entertainment thing. That's when you can make yourself into a rock type.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
And
see it.
that's a people are gonna that's a hot take right there. Write that down.
Another thing about The Rock is he's a big Samoan.
Yeah, there's that too.
MJF is not. He's
He's a small Jew.
he's a small, tiny Jew.
Yeah, there is that too. So, but that's why he said modern. But
Okay.
yeah, I think he's got a way to go. But it'd be interesting to see if that even comes up at some point.
I
But
think
again,
CM
I think he has to jump ship before that even is a conversation.
I think CM Punk's the last wrestling megastar we'll ever see.
Hmm, I don't think so. I'm sure we can't see him, but I'm sure someone somewhere will become a megastar.
Well, we'll
And
see.
maybe not to us, right? Maybe not to us because we're gonna be old boomers and don't know shit. But to like young people
Well, wrestling's
who
wrestling.
are in the know, no, I'm saying at some point maybe we get like Jim Cornette where you know, oh, if it's not 30 years ago, I don't care about it.
Well, he
But
still watches and reviews Modern Raw,
yeah, but why does he
so
do
he
it?
can shit on it.
Like no one cares about what he says. Well, outside of I take that outside of his little bubble,
He ain't
no one
little.
cares.
He's got quite the fan base actually. He's got the kind of fan base that makes us want to have that kind of fan base. But Mustafa is holding us back.
I'm sure he's Mustafering all the time. He probably says it too.
Mustafa.
Yeah. I saw one of them Mustafers.
I had a story
Hmm.
about I was gonna hook one of their eyes out in a Walmart parking lot. He's like, Brian, I was vibrating.
For what?
I can't remember. You cut him off or hit him or something.
And that was his go-to.
Yeah, he started screaming obscenities and yeah, he was pissed.
Mm.
Oh, I think his wife got rear-ended, and the guy tried to say it was her, and he immediately rounded on the guy. I'm gonna hook your eyes out.
Well, that's Jim Cornette for you. But I think on that note, it is time for our picks
Yeah,
of
probably got a little long, haven't we?
we have. So we can run through them real quick.
Let's do the picks.
And we can start off, let's see.
We got Miami and Cincinnati.
That already happened.
It
So
sure did. We
I'm
got
gonna,
Minnesota.
I'm gonna pick, I'll pick Cincinnati.
Okay. We got Minnesota and New Orleans.
I'm gonna pick Minnesota. What's his name?
Kirk Cousins.
Andy Dalton starting for New Orleans. So
Yeah,
I am
Minnesota.
picking Minnesota.
We got the Redskins versus the Cowboys. Cowboys.
I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. Unfortunately, I
Maybe
mean,
unfortunately.
well, like I said, I haven't picked them the last 2 weeks and they won. I want to pick them and jinx it, but
Yeah.
I don't, I, I just don't see it with the Commanders. Don't think they can beat. the Cowboys, so I think I'm safe with picking the Cowboys on that one.
Next up, we got Arizona and Carolina.
Um, I'm gonna go Arizona. I think they're winless, right? Arizona? I guess it doesn't matter. I'm still picking
I
them.
think they won one.
Okay.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. Buffalo and Baltimore.
Ooh, this is a big game. Um, I think Buffalo bounces back from their loss last week to Miami. They lost to Miami. They were exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not to be confused with Baltimore, who also lost to Miami. So, but yeah, I am going with the Bills. I think they get back on the winning column.
Yeah, I mean, I did pick them to win the Super Bowl, so gotta go with the Bills. Next up, we got Chicago versus the Giants.
Well, that's a hard one. Uh, I'm gonna go Chicago.
I'm gonna
I have no
go.
breakdown for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago as well. Yeah. Next up, we got Denver and Las Vegas.
Denver has not looked good so far, but they are winning, and I think they're getting better. And on the other hand, you have Las Vegas, who hasn't won a game yet.
Nope.
Um, and I don't think it starts this week. I'm picking Denver.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think the Raiders are kind of done. So we're gonna have to pick Denver as well. Next up, we have New England and Green Bay.
Um, I'm going with Green Bay. There's a lot of questions on if Mac Jones is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
He's been dealing with some injuries, so
Well, that and
off of
even
that fact,
when he has been starting, he hasn't been playing very well either. So, but yeah, Green Bay should win this one. Unfortunately, Cleveland and Atlanta.
I'm going to go with Cleveland. They're a couple seconds away from being undefeated on the season, so they've been playing well enough.
Yeah, Cleveland's the better team. Jacksonville and Philadelphia. Doug Peterson is coming back to his old team.
Yes, and Jacksonville's been surprisingly good. So has the Eagles. I mean, we knew the Eagles are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville's surprisingly good. Um, Doug Peterson is coming back to the Eagles as a revenge game for him, and I'm going to say Jacksonville wins this.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia.
All right, that's their first difference there.
It's got to be one at least, right?
All right.
I was gonna, I was just gonna pick them all. See how many weeks it would take you to to catch on.
Let's go with what I'm picking.
Uh-huh. Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
Kansas City.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's
I
not
think,
playing well.
yeah, Tampa Bay's been playing slow. Um, Defensively, they've been doing pretty good, but yeah, I'm going Kansas City on that.
Yeah. Next, we have Rams versus Niners.
I'm going with the Rams on that. Um, I mean, it's not much to break down there.
No. Yeah, Rams. Chargers versus Texans.
That's a hard one too.
Is it?
Um, yes, hard in the fact that Herbert
Oh, he's
may
hurt,
not
isn't he?
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's questionable.
Yeah,
Um,
they'll still win.
um, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, I guess.
They'll win. Uh, Jets versus Steelers.
I'm gonna go with Steelers on that one.
Yeah, gonna have to. Seattle versus Detroit.
Detroit, unfortunately for Seattle.
I'm gonna pick Seattle.
Picking
Uh,
Seattle.
yeah. And then we have Tennessee and the Colts.
And I am going to say I'm gonna say Tennessee. I know Indy just came off of a win, but Kansas City really did everything they could to lose
Yeah.
that game, and they did.
Indy Indy came off Indy just came away with a loss. Unfortunately, Kansas City didn't get the memo.
Yeah, like everything they could do to lose that game, they
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah, Tennessee should win. So, and that's it.
And that's our picks for this week. Da-da-da-da. Oh, no, that's the wrong graphic. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the show. I'm not
we'll
even gonna clean that up.
yeah. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Bum, 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 bum.